Despite a drug and alcohol-filled binge that had him checking into rehab, it doesn't seem like Hollywood bad boy Charlie Sheen is seeing the error of his ways. Even from inside rehab, the actor texting Radar Online saying, quote, "I'm fine. People don't seem to get it. Guy can't have a great time and do his job also?"
All right, but what about his job? As he's spiraling further out of control, should CBS or the executive producer of 2.5 Men be held liable for giving him a pass all this time? Joining us is media and celebrity consultant Jess Toddfeld, president of Success in Media. Jess, great to have you.
Great to be here.
Okay, but let's just forget about the show for a second. What he's doing is illegal. He is hiring prostitutes repeatedly.
Right.
He is having a case of cocaine reportedly delivered to his home. Why isn't he in jail?
Right. It seems like there's a different set of rules when it comes to Los Angeles and treating stars, and that's because there is a different set of rules. I'm not saying it's right, but we see this time and time again, where stars are given a free pass. And that's exactly what he's getting.
Sure, just check out TMZ any given day. You'll see 18, 19-year-old celebrities photographed inside clubs where you have to be 21.
Right.
But here's what else I can't reconcile is the text we just mentioned.
Right.
Guy can't have a great time and do his job also. Meanwhile, he's in rehab. So on one hand, if you're in rehab, he's there voluntarily.
Yeah.
On the other hand, he says nothing's wrong.
Right.
So why is he in rehab if he feels, in effect, this is his right to party?
In terms of Charlie Sheen, he thinks that he says he shows up on time. He's there. He knows his lines. He's delivering what is a high-rated show. He thinks there's no problem. I'm sure he's in rehab because he's forced to be there by family, by friends. I wouldn't doubt that the show's producers are forcing him to be there.
Well, speaking of which, we have a quote. This is from Vanity. It says, "Warning, do not attempt to replicate what you saw in tonight's episode of 2.5 Men. This is extremely dangerous behavior and could result in injury or death. Please keep in mind that we employ a highly paid professional, Hollywood professional who has years of experience with putting his life at risk. And sadly, no, I'm not talking about our stunt man." That is from Chuck Lorre Productions. So
the slate that runs after the show.
Right. So they're clearly, this is tongue-in-cheek. They're not taking this very seriously.
Well, they knew when they hired him what they were getting involved with. They knew that he had this whole history, so it's not a big surprise to him that this would pop up.
But at this point, they're enabling him, giving him millions of dollars per episode or whatever he's paid. They're enabling a drug addict. And by the way, I believe his wives have had protection orders of protection against him. So he's committing crimes and bad behavior on a number of levels. Do they want to be responsible for that?
They don't want to be responsible, which is part of why he has to go to rehab. And it's also part of why they're not forcing him to come back to work. He could end up dead if they force him to go back to work.
The guy's still making $2 million a week, and despite the drugs, despite the domestic disputes, has it affected the ratings, the television show at all? Or has it helped?
It seems like it's helping. Right now, the reruns, the syndication version of the show seems to be doing better, and I bet you we see a bump in ratings from the broadcast version of the show. And the show is winding down, but they know he's a cash cow, meaning the show's a cash cow. And in terms of his personal life, he is the rock star of the acting world. When it comes to sex, drugs, rock and roll, wine, women, and song, he's one guitar short. And that's it.
But, I mean, you make it sound so glamorous. I think that we're watching somebody as they're, you know, sort of on a downward spiral to destruction. He looks so gaunt and thin. I mean, I think he only has weeks left, unless rehab helps. But Jess Toddfeld, we have to leave it there. Thanks so much for coming in.
All right, coming up on the show, do the scenes from Egypt seem similar to others in history? Will this country's uprising be like Iran in 1978?